Project come about?
We started the Kingson as a fund. We registered in 2015, and that was the birthplace for us around investing into startups and into the SME sector.
Well, what happened that brought you to that area where you thought they now need financing? And where are you sourcing your financing for this project?
We set up as a Section 12J venture capital company, and that was a starting point for us in actually formalizing the fund. We were backed by high net worth individuals within our first fund, and in this next fund we have the likes of corporates that are backing us, as well as international investors that we've been speaking with as well, that have shown particular interest around investing into South Africa and into the tech and SME space. So that is the space that we find ourselves in, and there's a real incredible atmosphere and excitement at the moment around investing into South Africa.
Give us a sense of South African tech. You say the space is exciting, and it's known all over the world that economies such as the US economy and the Chinese economy are held up by the success of tech companies such as your Googles and your Facebooks and them. Give us a sense of what's happening, what's exciting in South Africa that you think is worth funding and could change things.
Well, I think we're very uniquely well positioned here in South Africa. We've got an incredible skill set, and we have the South African mindset is really one that beats the odds. We are very well positioned, I think, to develop tech solutions for South Africa, for South Africans, and that are scalable to an African market and global market. So what's exciting for us is that based in South Africa and the opportunities that we see solutions that are tailor-made for South Africans and for Africans and growing into the African market. We all know that Africa there's an incredible drive around Africa and this whole free trade, the opportunities to tap into multiple markets. If we are able to identify the right tech in a South African context that can scale, we can compete at an international level. So you have obviously tech companies in the US and in China that are growing at rapid rates, and it's about Africa not being left behind but coming to the forefront of that. If we don't invest in South African startups and in African startups, we're going to see other people playing a role in our own backyard and our own economy. So it's about stimulating that environment and that economy to go and make a difference and bring tech out that solves our problems in a unique way.
Who should be applying, and how will you evaluate their ideas?
So we look for tech startups, number one, and it obviously needs to be aligned within our mandate. Typically, we see incredible growth around the FinTech space. We see insurance playing a key role, and health. Health is a vitally important aspect as growth into Africa and stimulating and moving the whole African continent forward. We also see the SME space being critical. And I was asked an interesting question the other day: do you think that SMEs are fading out because of tech? And the answer is no. We see incredible opportunities on the tech front and incredible opportunities on the SME side. So businesses that fit within our tech mandate and businesses that are in the fast-paced consumer space around SMEs are really encouraged to attend and to apply for funding. The funding is around, we're targeting black-owned SMEs. I think it's an incredible thing. We sit within a country that has incredible, immense opportunities. And so we're looking to fund particularly black-owned SMEs and tech startups in our next fund.
You were saying earlier that you're hoping to look at scalable ideas. 53 million South Africans. Are you hoping to go beyond this country?
Absolutely. I think it's critical and important from a venture capital space to play beyond the borders of South Africa. Now, we will always invest in South African startups. What's interesting is we want to be able to take them outside of the country and playing into a market that's beyond us. What's important to us is to play at a local level but think on a global scale. And so that is the drive that we're looking to take. And in meeting with stakeholders, both in the US and further up into Africa, it's very important for us to be able to think on a global mindset. We have technology that can compete at that level, and we need to play at that level.
Give us a bit of specifics here in the long term. What kind of projects do you hope to see emerging from this? Well,
I think one of the interesting components that the President has often spoken about, and it predates even the term of Cyril Ramaphosa, is around South Africa being a financial hub for Africa. And with that case, we see FinTech being incredibly, incredibly important. If South Africa is going to play that role in a financial hub, the role of technology in the fintech space is key. And as we have more and more people come online from a technology point of view, with digital penetration of markets, we see the fintech and the movement of money critical. As we see health scale, we'll see that as a very, very important topic, an important market going into. And really, technology is playing a role across multiple sectors, multiple industries. And as we look around that and data that fits into that space, I think we're going to see some very attractive things develop in our markets.
You're quite correct about fintech. We already see the bulk of our banking being done online. But how do you hope to recoup your investment?
Our investment is about identifying those tech startups and those SMEs at an early stage, invest early stage, and look to grow those businesses. So for us, it's about identifying at a very early stage, rolling up our sleeves, getting involved with these businesses, helping from a strategy point of view, rolling things out, and really through our network begin to grow. It's all about ecosystems, and so that's what's important in a South African context as we look to build out the startup ecosystem. It's very important to be able to identify those tech opportunities early up front and be able to position them for exits. That's also why I want to highlight that it's very important for us to actually look beyond the borders of South Africa, because technology competes at that level and we have to think at that level.
You were saying that you identify these tech startups. If a person wanted to reach out to you, how do they go about it? What are the details?
You can go onto our website, kingstoncapital.com. There's a specific tab there for investment requirements, and it's very important for us to obviously look for startups and for SMEs that fit our mandate. There are tremendous ways of opportunities, and I think what's important for a lot of people is to understand where they fit in the funding cycle. Venture capital is one key component, but it is only one component. Come onto our website, kingstoncapital.com, and you can have a look through there, and we welcome opportunities and look to engage with startups and founders and our growing ecosystem.
That's the Kingson without the T. It's not Kingston, it's Kingson. Just
it's
need to
Kingson,
clarify
that's
that.
correct.
Thank you so much for making the time to talk to us, and we hope to see the impacts of your program, of your project as time goes.
Thank you.
Gavin Reardon. Is it Reardon? Yeah? Reardon. Gavin Reardon is from Kingson Capital, and he was talking to us about 400 million rand that they are wanting to invest in tech startups. You're watching The Agenda. Let's take a break. We'll be back in a moment.